Podcast. My opinion. Podcast. All nine niggas.
So we are back with another episode of In My Opinion Podcast. I got Rudy Ortiz to my right and the newcomer to the show to my left, Mr. Big T.
Hey.
Big T. That's a big ass T. Big T.
Oh, yeah.
From the town.
That's
All
right.
right.
Oaktown,
If you don't know about him, you will by the end of this episode, okay?
Read the sweater, y'all.
We
Oakland, USA.
do this thing called This or That on the show just so everybody's comfortable, even though we've all known each other for over a decade now.
Yeah.
That makes us old than motherfucker, right,
Goddamn,
fellas?
don't remind me.
So, it's either this or that. So I'll kick it to Rudy. You'll see how it goes. You just pick one or the other.
Okay.
Is it weed or liquor for you?
My two mistresses. Damn, is it weed? Like if I can only have one?
If you had to cut out one.
Oh, if I had
He
to
was
cut
like,
out
yeah,
one?
he was like, man, I got to cut out.
I mean,
easy.
yeah. If I had to cut one out, bro, I would cut out liquor because I mean, as much as I enjoy it, and I do, you know, in the long run, that shit is gonna catch up to you and kill you. plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's fun as fuck, and I've had a lot of great times with it. Not too many great memories, but I've had a lot of great times with it. But I know in the long run, it's gonna kill me. So if I had to quit one, it would definitely be liquor. And weed is always the only thing that sucks about weed though is that I become a weed PhD type of dude.
A snob.
Yeah. And so
one of
what
those.
happens to me a lot of times now, bro, is like I enjoy weed so much because I've always enjoyed like the internal experience of weed. A lot of people don't like the paranoia. I like it. You know what I'm saying? I'm into that part.
So you have a particular strain?
No. What I mean by a snob is like sometimes now I enjoy weed more when I'm not around people. So for me, weed has become
your high.
That's probably from the pandemic, though.
No, bro. No, because a lot of times, bro, like when I'm smoking weed, people don't want to talk about the shit I want to talk about.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
They're fucking up your high.
Yeah, or they're not letting me enjoy my high to its fullest potential. Because for me, the best part about weed is talking. And so a lot of times people, you know, they don't want to, you know, embark in my little conversations that I want to have when I'm high as shit. So sometimes I enjoy just smoking weed on my own and just pondering. You know what I'm saying? I'm into that.
All right, before we pass it over to you, Big T, I'm going to answer. And I will say right now, I'm doing neither. Being sober sucks, bro. But I'm doing it only because my girl caught a DUI. So I'm
You
doing
square
it.
as fuck right
So,
now.
so
Like, one of us got to be right.
So I'm doing it out of spite right now,
Oh,
just
wow.
to show her monkey
I'm trying
ass
to
you
prove
can
a
do
man
that.
point.
Yeah. So, I don't know how long
I'll
it's
show
too
you how
long.
easy it is.
You know
but-
them man points you trying to prove that'll get your ass single quicker than
Oh
you think.
yeah.
You want to be
Yeah,
right
'cause-
or you want to be in a
And
relationship?
also calling her out on
I
the
want to
podcast.
be right.
Hey, babe.
goddammit.
You want to be right
So,
or you want to
but
be in this
if I had one to
relationship?
choose, I will say with weed, you smoke weed and it like goes away, and you don't have no weed hangover. You don't have. Weed just seems to be a lot nicer on the body, bro. Especially the older that you get. So, you know, I tell people I stopped drinking for about 3.5 years, and I started drinking for about another 6 to 9 months. And then she got the DUI, and I stopped doing shit altogether. So I was just like, man, I will tell you, those 6 to 9 months when I started drinking again, I wasn't drinking like I was before I stopped the 3 years before that. It was just, it was the tolerance changed. My body knew, like, hey, man, Saturday, if you're drinking, we're done Sunday. You ain't getting out of bed until Monday. So it was just rougher on me. So, you know, I am thankful that part where I took a break. So that's cool. But
It's kind of fucked up that we got to wait till our bodies betray us and turn on us. Like we really holding our body ransom until that bitch is like, you know what? I'm gonna just shit on myself. You know what I'm saying? Until you figure it out.
though I will say I understand why people indulge, because life fucking sucks, bro. So I will tell you, as a sober person, bro, there's been many of days lately where I'm just like, dude, I need a fucking drink, right? Yeah. I need a drink, but I just can't.
I mean, I don't feel there's anything wrong with alcohol. There's nothing wrong with it. You just have to, people have to learn how to control it. You know what I'm saying? You having alcohol. I always ask people, you having alcohol, but have you had some water yet?
Right,
You know what
right,
I'm
right,
saying? Like
right.
you out here running your mouth, just blah blah blah. My man, have you had some ice water tonight? Like that could really help balance you
So
out.
with that
man.
said,
That's
are
true,
you an
though.
alcohol person or weed head?
I'm a weed person
Yeah.
all day, every day. I gave up alcohol like a long time ago, and I don't hate on alcohol. Don't
Yeah.
get it twisted.
Like you haven't had no
I
alcohol
haven't really had any alcohol
in
in
how long?
years. I can't
Come
even
on.
remember. Like the last time
2 or 3 years,
I
5,
had
10.
a Stella at a Wu-Tang concert like 3-4 years ago.
Right.
Okay.
And that's the extent. Like it's just not attractive.
So what was the main reason?
I'm 6'3", 300 something pounds. Okay, if I pass out, who's gonna lift
So
my
rap,
ass?
bro.
Okay, I mean, how am I gonna get to the car? Like I'm the biggest homie in a lot of cliques.
That's real.
Okay, so I'm not 4 or 5 of the homies trying to drag me back. Like they probably couldn't even do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They-
I learned that a long ass time ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So. Plus, I like the way I feel on the alcohol. On the weed. I'm a much nicer, smoother, gentler kind of
Yeah,
cat.
I've never seen nobody get really aggressive when they smoke weed like
Nah,
they
hell
do
no.
with alcohol. With
I get
alcohol,
aggressive on these freestyle raps. You know what I'm saying? Like on these fucking bars. If I smoke a blunt, I get aggressive on that.
Oh man, you should. If you've never gone karaoke with Rudy, bro, you got to.
Plus, I had to correct y'all on the marijuana hangover, okay? Because if you do too many edibles, and people out there know,
Yes.
you eat too many edibles at one time, your body won't be able to function. Now, you ain't gonna be like hurting but like you eat too many edibles and try to get out the bed the next day, it's rough.
It's a wrap, yeah.
It's rough. And I learned a long time ago that once you get to that point of the edibles, you just have to lay back and take it. Because I was stuck watching infomercials at like 3 a.m. because I couldn't reach the remote.
God damn.
Okay.
Was it a good infomercial?
I mean, it was an
Scrub Daddy or
infomercial.
some
It
shit.
was an infomercial about sex toys, which helped me to one of my greatest jokes. But
Really?
oh yeah, like the lady right on at like 4 a.m. when all the cartoons and all that stuff goes off, they sell sex toys from like 3
Get
to
the
5
fuck
in the
outta
morning,
here.
and
Okay.
I like where is it? I'm laying there. The remote is like right where that cup is.
Yeah.
I can't reach my arm out.
get
grab
it.
I'm all up in here.
Yeah,
dog.
yeah,
The
yeah.
whole body is up here. It's just the spirit.
You're right about the edibles though. It does fuck with your. I always think of it like it gets into something deeper than my bloodstream. It like goes into my fucking essence, and I don't do edibles because it makes me. It's a different type of paranoia. Like the paranoia when I smoke, the paranoia is here, but I like it here though, because I feel like I could do something with that. But when the paranoia from the edibles is just all through my body, and it makes me anxious. You know what I'm saying? That's when I started
You
getting.
got to go on the ride. That's what I tell people. Just
Yeah.
ride the roller coaster. Okay, it'll be over.
It will be over.
Get you some water.
Right.
Get when you overdo it
And
on
you're
some
about your
edibles,
hydration over there,
Get
aren't
you
you?
some water. Let that ride, and make sure you have like some real food, not more edibles.
Right.
Like real food next to you. Or after, because once you start to walk, you're going to be super hungry. And the cold part is you be high off the edibles, you come down.
Yeah.
Okay, you drink your water, you come down. Then you eat some regular food, you get high all over again.
Wow.
There you go.
But is it as ferocious though?
No, it's much more. It's much
Okay,
more like the
much more
colors. The
manageable?
colors. It's awesome.
Bro, I went to France. And I thought I was being
That's a
cool.
flex.
Yeah, I just got to flex one time on y'all. You know what I'm saying?
He went
Norwegian.
to France.
Oh, yeah.
By the way,
No, but it's pertinent. It's pertinent to the story though, because I went to France and I thought I would be cool by eating half of a chocolate bar that I bought at a weed store, at a cannabis shop, and it was 100 milligrams in the chocolate bar. So I ate half of it because I thought that would be smart to only eat 50, right? But that was way too much. And by the time, right before I got on the plane, I just felt that wave take over me, and I was coming in and out at the bar, and I was like, my girlfriend at the time, I was like, damn, I was like. I had to talk to her as the wave went over me, and I could like poke my head up and be like, hey, just make sure I don't fucking fall or anything, because I'm really fucked up right now. And then I would pull me back in. And when I got on the plane, bro, I thought I was cool until a little group of French students, like little 12-year-olds, got on the plane, and they all started singing T.R.A.G.I.C. And then the wave hit me again, and I was just like, T.R.A.G.I.C, T.R.A.G.I.C.
Trapped.
Bro, I was trapped. I was trapped in the glass
If you
case of
panned out,
emotions.
there wasn't even
See?
12-year-olds on that
Bruh.
plane.
And see, and your girl that back then would still be your girl if she had put your headphones on you and curled you into a ball and just
Right.
like, don't touch Rudy. He's all right.
Well, she took the other 50 milligrams, so it was like we was both fucked up. We was both fucked up.
Y'all was both tripping.
It was
then.
both tripping, man.
Oh,
So yeah,
that's like a scary movie.
I smoke before I eat it.
All right. Here's the next one. We'll switch it to Big T.
All right.
And I don't even know why the fuck I wrote this one, but fuck it. Let's go. I wrote this one because
Yeah, you gotta be careful
yeah.
with Rick James
Yeah,
because
yeah. I don't
he
know.
be coming with these
So-
questions.
He'll put you in a position.
And,
well, I guess I wrote it to see how if I'm the only nasty motherfucker in the room, right?
Here it comes.
Is when you're getting it, right? When you getting some, are you into that regular, like, I want to stare in your eyes and make love to you? Or are you in that crazy shit? Oh, that's why I wrote it, because I was talking to my boy Lee, and we was talking about one of the girls I used to fuck, we called her Stuff and Cuff and shit, right? Because she used to like to get choked and fucking handcuffed and shit.
Okay.
Until the one time I fucking choked her too much, and I had to do CPR to bring this bitch
No, you
back.
didn't, bro.
no, you did.
Luckily, I'm
You
a
didn't-
nurse.
You didn't almost kill this bitch.
Where this bitch started foaming out the mouth and
You had
shit.
to do CPR on somebody you were fucking having sex
And
with.
I was like, man, the nurse in me was like, bitch, come back to life. Like, so it was
Right,
a
you
little
better hope
much
the
for
statute
me.
of limitations ran out on that shit. You telling on yourself on your own podcast, I almost killed a bitch at the resuscitator.
That's,
Hey, but
see, that's
again,
why
she was
black
into-
dudes are
Look.
not into choking.
Right.
That is exactly why black dudes don't do the choke thing.
Right.
Because, bitch, if you die right now, they'll never believe me. Okay? Never. They're just looking. I mean, you can have the receipt from where the bitch was a hoe, and you just accidentally choked her. Like, yo, but I paid her for services. See, it was all part of the thing. No, you can have a contract, written consent. I asked him to choke me. Still going down. Still going down.
Still
So,
catching
no.
a case.
No, we don't do that. No, we don't. Black men, we don't choke. We don't play with handcuffs.
Right.
None of that shit.
So you're just
okay?
having regular sex.
So you're just having regular sex
I mean,
for yourself then.
I'm doing things like I'm down for other things. I'm down for like the role playing.
Right.
I'm down for the
How many
dressing
fingers you put in
up.
her butt?
I put as many as the bitch let me. Okay? That's for her. That's for her.
That's for her. That's her pleasure.
I'm not just looking to slide up in the booty. If she's like, yo, do that shit, then I'm gonna oblige.
Yeah,
if
of
that's
course.
part of what
'Cause you're a
is
gentleman.
that part of the process, thank you. But I'm not.
You ever let a girl eat your ass?
I've never been offered.
Big T, look right into the camera. If anybody out there is
I've
looking
never
for an
had,
experience,
the charitable extension of ass eating.
bro, I
but-
would never let any human being eat my ass, man. I
Then
can't do
no,
it.
No girl has ever loved you. Then,
No,
Rudy.
hell no, bro. I don't want that type of love. I don't want. Listen, bro. If a female is willing to put her tongue in my disgusting asshole,
Why I gotta go
can't-
in?
I
She
can't
can lick
trust
around.
her. I
She can
can't
rib
trust
job
her.
you.
Nah,
It doesn't have
nah,
to go in the hole.
nah. If a female even offers it, bro, I'm like, I want to stop everything and talk about her past and be like, what have you been doing all these years? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
obviously her father wasn't around. Oh, shout out,
there's
Aida.
a direct correlation between eating ass and not having a dad.
Yes.
I want to see the graph. I want to
Yes.
see the numbers on
The-
that.
the-
No.
the statistics
No.
on that. Yeah.
No, there's no correlation. I've worked with some of the not so church-like females in my day, and yeah, some of them 2-parent homes. Nice living, just bad. Some people
Right.
just bad. That's it. You can't help it. That's why having kids is a roll of the dice. Okay.
All right, so you're kind of into the freaky shit over here.
Nick, one time I had this girl at the house. She was like, I'm gonna go put something on and I'm gonna come back. And I was like, cool. This girl, she was gone for like 30 minutes. Okay. But when she came back in, she had on like the steampunk fucking boots, the high boots
Oh, there you
with all
go.
the strings and the patent leather and all
Yeah.
that shit. I was like, okay,
Yes.
this is what I'm talking about. Let's roll the dice.
Yes.
And that was one of the best experiences I've ever had.
Did you have to undo every single string though?
Nah, because she was poking out in the right places.
Okay,
So
cool.
we just left his shit on.
Yeah.
And then as she move and gyrate, the little grip she had on the strings, they start to loosen up.
Yeah.
And then
Lingerie should have Velcro on it. You know what I'm saying? So you just take that shit off. I don't want to untie shit. I don't want, bro. I'll throw a shoe away if it's got a knot in it. Fuck that. I don't want to untie anything.
But have you ever just like turned out all the lights in the room and just fuck in
Had no power?
complete darkness?
I've never
Not
done
had
that.
no power, but just in complete darkness.
Yeah.
Nah.
That turns
I will
chicks
say,
on.
I don't
Really?
know if either one of you gentlemen had done
Can't do
this,
that.
but if you've never shaved your girl, you got to shave your girl, bro.
Nah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. It takes you in a whole different intimate level with a female.
Why
Because
would you
one,
not?
if she trusts you with a goddamn razor down there,
Because I
bro.
don't trust myself with it.
There we
That's
go.
why.
There we go.
That's for her. That's your area.
Yeah.
You do your area.
Not even if I'm a barber.
You hear me, man?
So I can give it a
Jay
fade.
Rich?
Yeah.
I give it a fade. Boy, you want a low taper, high taper? What you want?
I'm not touching the.
Not with no razor.
Not with no razor for sure.
I don't know. That's and they'll appreciate it. And if you don't know, then try it. Try it with a girl.
What if you ain't got a steady hand and you fuck up the design?
well, then they won't appreciate that. God damn it!
I'll be high as fuck. You be like, all low-eyed
This
and
bitch be a
shit.
packy
Like,
asshole when she done with it.
You got that pussy got alopecia on
Yeah.
it. Sorry, babe.
No, sorry, bro.
All right, Rudy. What about you? What kind of freak are you? You're a level 10 freak?
I'm down to do anything to her, but I'm not getting my ass ate.
So you'll eat her
You're not
ass.
gonna put no fingers in my ass. I don't want my ass played with at all. I don't even want my girl to grab my cheeks, let alone split them. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'll do anything to her. And is it a little insecure? I mean, I don't know what the term would be, but I don't want to say insecure. But I guess it is a little insecure because I'll be honest with you, bro. I just don't want to like it. I just don't. I don't want to get my ass fucked
You're
with.
afraid of your feminine
And
feelings.
I do now. Absolutely. And I will openly admit that. I'm not bullshitting.
That's cool.
I will openly admit
That's why
I
you
do
a
not want to like
law-abiding
it.
citizen.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. I do not want to like that sensation. I don't even want to play with the idea of liking it because I might fuck around and be like, all right, that's my thing now. That's what I do now.
Yeah, it is, bro. You'll be
Now all of a sudden
buying
I'm-
wet wipes.
Now all of
every
a sudden,
moment,
you know,
bro.
I'm
You
mad
try to
at the
relive
bitch
that
because
moment.
now all of a sudden I'm mad at the bitch because she won't finger me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't need that. I don't need that
What
in
if
my
she
life.
what if but if you was with somebody,
Yeah.
and she just surprised you, like for some reason just caught you slipping and just started eating your ass. I mean,
Yeah, what if
How
it was a
hard am I
drunk night?
slipping?
What if it was a drunk night? She
I'm
took
just
you back to the
saying.
crib and just started eating your ass.
Because like I don't know how. I don't know. I don't want to even get into the details.
How
of
did she creep in there?
Caught you slipping.
Yeah, okay.
But just so
Let's-
because look,
yeah.
okay, I'll tell you how.
Yeah.
Because when they're giving
Yeah,
you
right.
head, they get up and they get in that taint area.
Right.
Once they get in that area, if you don't get the
Right.
fuck out of there,
Right.
she goes
Bruh.
deeper.
So what I
And
do
next
is-
thing you know,
She's penetrating, right? What I do is I hit her with
it's not penetration though.
Yeah, but
It's not
the
penetration.
fact that she's
putting
playing
that-
with it, and I know because I've been there before, and the moment she starts going around it, and the moment she realizes that because I'm the Steve Irwin of getting my ass ate.
Okay.
Like I've gone into the jungle, but I don't live with the tigers. You know what I'm saying? So like I've let a girl play around with it, like around it, because I wanted to see where her head was at. And so if you allow it too long, she'll end up fucking going for it because she thinks
Exactly.
you like it.
Exactly.
So I've had it before where it's like if they start, I'm getting some head, and then she tries to play with it. I hit her with the hockey goalie and just fucking with the knee. Wow.
I'm not talking about with her hands though. I'm talking about strictly. She just like a fucking pig
And just
sticks
goes
that
into it?
snout in there looking for a truffle.
I'll let her. I'll stop everything. I'll turn the lights on. I'll close my legs. I'll be like, I'll be like, I'll be like,
And she just gets up in there.
Nah, bro.
Just hit the roof.
Yeah, I mean, but I'll do almost anything to her. I just don't want to. I'm not getting my ass ate. I'm not getting no finger play in the
Rudy O
butthole.
said he stand on it.
Straight up, bro. I stand on that, and I got no problem with that. You can call me whatever you want, bro. I will not go down that route.
That's cool.
I ain't gonna do it.
That's why
All right,
you a
before we
law-abiding
get into the
citizen.
questions, Rudy, I'm going to let you do one, this or that. You said you got one.
Yeah.
So-
All right. So this has been on the internet for a minute. DMX or Tupac?
I just heard Cameron's fucking answer to that. So I was luckily I lived through both of them. I didn't meet either one of them. DMX was my death soundtrack.
Right.
I told you when I got in my car accident, DMX's first CD. So I heard someone barking while I was about to die. That was nice. But I think for me, kinship to Pac, because I remember Pac being just the most gangster motherfucker as a teenager. Did I think that it was theatrical? No.
Right.
I was like, fuck that. I'm just this gangster. We doing this shit. Clap, clap, right?
Right.
And then I realized this motherfucker wasn't as a gangster as his music was.
Right. Or at least his background, his early
But the
background
spirit was in me.
Right.
The spirit was in me.
Spirit
So
was
for
there.
me, I'd have to go Pac, even though DMX would be right behind him. You know, then it's like an older, younger brother type shit. Like
That's
just-
a good analogy.
yeah.
But if you get rid of one, though, you're getting rid of DMX.
I probably have to get
Sounds
rid
like
of DMX. Yeah.
See?
And you got, so this is this or that,
This or
not
that, yeah.
not both,
Can't have
right?
both, man.
Okay. I would have to agree with Rick James. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm closer. First of all, I feel like I'm closer to Pac because I feel like he was riding around the same streets I'll be riding around in the town. You know what I'm saying? Just certain areas. Even when you go to LA, like there's places in LA that you can see like, oh yeah, he was here type stuff. The music is what I grew up on. All Eyes on Me, that was the soundtrack for high school. But like I say, DMX, he was a king,
Right.
truly a king. But I feel closer to, I feel like Pac raised me,
Right.
and DMX came in as like that East Coast cousin that was like, who is this nigga? Oh, he's wild, but
Yeah.
okay. And then he just took the mantle, especially like because Pac was dead by the time, for a long time before
Right.
DMX even came out. So I don't even know if you can compare them. I think people just compare them because they had bald heads. I'm just saying, like, why
bald
DMX
heads.
and Tupac? Why? There's no
I would-
other reason.
I would say because they had moments that like where they were at their heights were pretty similar. And I don't think it's just because they had bald heads, but I think when they were at their peaks, the way that they affected people was similar. I mean, they had a hold on the people that were listening to them. Because to be a DMX fan was damn near like being in a cult. Because that's the whole idea of him being a pit bull and blood is hell and this dark and blood is and hell is hot.
Yeah.
It's like DMX was the first hip hop artist that I was fucking with that made me accept this like darker image. You know what I'm saying? Because he was a little bit darker. Dark Man X. That's what DMX stands for. And before DMX, I wasn't really. If I saw anything that even resembled darkness, I was like, oh, that's too rockish. Like that's a little too much rock like influence. I'm not fucking with that. I'm strictly hip hop, strictly R&B. But DMX was the first one that I was like, yeah, bro, let's fuck it. Let's be drenched in blood
Now, do
on
you think-
on the album cover. I'm cool with that.
Do you think that the way DMX kind of dipped down in his later years, because he was selling numbers and shit in the beginning,
Right.
Do you think if Pac was around 20 years later, it would have been the same?
I mean,
well?
I say this all the time, bro. Like, I'm conflicted with Pac because I loved him when I was a kid. And then I got a little bit older and I still loved him. But then I got a lot older and I started really examining the way that he moved in the last couple of years of his life. And I would never advise anybody to move like that. Like that was dumb.
Well, he's getting taken advantage of.
He got
in a lot
taken.
of
So
ways.
it's like
But that's early music business. Like a lot
Right.
of artists.
Yeah.
That
Right,
was
but-
that
but-
And he was
that the-
25.
but he got taken advantage of like in a Mike Tyson type of way where it's like his handler, Suge Knight, It just seems like he was basically using him.
That's what I mean.
And but what I'm getting at though is that kind of takes away from the heroism of it all, because now I'm looking at now as a grown up, I look at Pac and I'm like, yeah, you were cool, but you weren't even the top of your own food chain. There was one dude above you that was handling you, and because of the way that he handled you, he guided you to your death. You know, so it's kind of it's harder now that I'm older. It's hard for me to respect that as much as I did when I was 25. You know, and with DMX, and also, you know, when you get older, you kind of fall in love with the tragedy of life, and DMX's life was tragic, so it seems more poetic. You know, Tupac's life was tragic too, but when you really examine how and why it played out that way, it's more like, oh, that's not as tragic as it is just like a young dude doing dumb shit. And I know a lot of young dudes that did dumb shit.
Yeah, he was like 20s in his mid 20s.
I know, but it's less romantic though.
Nah, because you was the same way. I was the same way. 25, I had a little money in my pocket. Like, things was going good. You just out here wilding. Then you get caught up. And Suge Knight came to rescue him. I mean, the record label that owed him money, they wasn't paying him. So he was just in jail, owed money. He like, how you sitting in prison with the #1 album? He hasn't Shed So Many Tears. That was the #1 album. You in prison right now. Like, he was getting taken advantage of his whole life. Cause you saying fuck the white man, but you gotta use them to get your money, and everybody trying to tell you like these are the pitfalls, but you just wild. Like, he was even wild for like a lot of Muslims, like the older Muslims. They was like, yo, this young nigga wild. Yeah. I mean, he's saying revolutionary stuff, but at the same time, he's saying it like hood, you know what I'm saying, trying to get to these kids. And that was part of the downfall. That, like, DMX, he never had that.
No, he never had that because he never put himself in that position. Like, he was never handled.
But no, I'm saying, like, as far as like giving out a message to people in the street. Like,
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, for example, again, another one of the benefits of growing older and hearing stories from the past. I heard a story about that made its rounds on the internet where Snoop Dogg was talking about how Tupac confronted Nas in some park in New York, and Snoop Dogg was looking at Tupac like, bro, you almost got us killed. Like you think that you handled it because you out gangstered him, but Nas let you slide because he was about to fuck us all up because of you. Yeah. So now as a 40-year-old man, when I think about that, I'm like, yeah, that sounded cool when I was 20, but now as a 40-year-old man, I'm like, bro, that was stupid as fuck.
But so, like I say, so that's what he's saying though. If Pac had lived, do you think that those fences would have got mended? Like, a lot of things would have got. You think time would have healed those wounds? No, and maybe because as you get older, you start to settle down. Like, before Pac got killed, he was just starting to like have kids. He was about to get with, like, I think it was Quincy Jones' daughter. Yeah. So I mean, you know, you start to get older, you start to settle down and change your ways, and that's like even Pac's
or he could have ended up with Jada.
To society.
But
he could have ended up with Jada,
and then it all been downhill.
And then he would have been slapping Chris Rock. But you're right though. You're right though. Well, first of all, like, sometimes I think about this when I think about Tupac specifically. I'm glad he died. Because now let me tell you why. Bro. Let me tell you why. Now let me tell you why. Because
me and Rudy, we ain't that close.
let me tell you why though. Because I romanticized him so much like a folktale. Yeah. And so what I've seen from his peers is that as they get older, Ice Cube doing "Are We There Yet?" Fucking Snoop Dogg rapping for VH1, and I don't make my kids eat their vegetables. And it's just like, and I'm like, bro, like, so that's what happens, huh? The older you get, the cornier you become, because that becomes intelligent. It's smart to become corny. So when I look at Tupac, I'm like, I'm kind of glad that this dude that I created into a folktale, into a mythological hero, I'm glad that his life ended early, because for selfish reasons, I would have hated to see that dude who I uplifted so much turn into a cornball, which is probably what would have happened, because that's what happens when you get older. You get corny. Yeah. It happens, bro.
I mean, we'll never know because the
no, we'll
motherfucker
never
is-
know. We'll never know. So
You
we
don't
can.
want to see Tupac selling Lucky Charms. Is that what you're
Nah,
saying?
fuck
But
no,
you-
bro. I don't want to see Tupac on.
I won't deny you. Lucky
I'm a straight
Charms
rider. You don't want to sip this milk. No, I'm telling you, man. That's probably what happened, bro. Like a lot of those folk heroes from the early hip hop the '90s and shit like that. They grow up and they start doing wise shit. And when you become wise, you're not
Business
gangster no more.
moguls, Business moguls.
Yeah, you
all
start.
that.
So you become corny because it's smart. It's a smart thing to do.
I mean, maybe it would have been different though. Because like hip hop is selling everything, so it could have been. I mean, it could have been.
Imagine if like Master P took Tupac
Like
instead
Master
of Snoop
P,
under his.
Yeah, Master P fucking was selling rap snacks.
rap snacks.
I don't want to see Tupac selling fucking Tupac milkshakes or something
Tupac
like that.
selling cereal. I mean,
Nah, bro, I don't wanna see that
Snoop Dogg
shit.
selling cereal. He got the
He
wine.
would have kept it gangster
E40
though,
got
bro.
the wine. They
Would have
got
been little
Tupac
bandanas.
clothing
That's what I'm
line.
saying. That's
It
what I'm
would've
saying,
been
bro.
all
The
of
marshmallows
that.
hated
would have been
that shit.
bandanas.
You don't-
That's
You
a
don't want to
fucking
see Tupac
no.
with no Jay-Z
Fuck no.
dreads.
I don't want to see no Tupac.
500 million.
No, I don't want to see no Tupac Saturday morning cartoon. I don't want to see Tupac doing Taco Bell commercials. I don't want to see none of that shit. I'm as a viewer and as somebody who put him on such a pedestal. Like I'm glad that I didn't have to see him unravel and become a wise cornball because that's what happens.
Or he could have been a dope ass actor. You know
Yeah,
what
he
I'm
might have
saying?
been.
'Cause
He might have been.
his
Yeah,
movies was fire.
yeah. No, he might have been a dope
The
ass
last
actor.
one with Belushi, soundtrack
Yeah.
was fire.
Actually was
but,
alright, man.
So, but and DMX on the other hand, he lived a life where he didn't enjoy that superstardom for like to the same degree as Tupac did. He had a cult following, but because of his cult following and because he was never handled and because nobody ever was like, nah, like this is my meal ticket. I'm gonna make sure to take care of him. Because of that, he had to live a real person's life. And as a 40-year-old man who's been through some trials and tribulations, I look at DMX and I can relate more to that. Cause I'm like, yeah, bro, like you had some fucking serious ups and downs. So did I. I never smoked crack or stole a cop's car, but
I mean,
but I'm saying though,
DMX
I never smoked
backstory is tragic.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
It's
saying.
one of the most tragic in hip hop history.
Right. And
So-
that becomes more appealing
But that's
as
the
you
thing.
get older. It becomes more appealing because life is fucking crazy and
but
tragic.
That's the thing. Like a lot of people that are under the superstar are afraid to say no to the person making money.
Right.
That's how superstars get caught up because they don't have what I like to call the no men. You surrounded by all these yes people. Who's your no guy?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like who's telling Michael Jackson no more fentanyl? Who's telling R. Kelly these bitches are children? Who's telling Prince no more drugs, bruh? Calm down. You ain't in no pain. You need rehab. Like who is watching DMX 24/7, making sure he's not smoking crack? Like those are the people that you need.
If
in
Tupac
your
had a
life.
few no men, he might still be alive.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And so
Tupac, Biggie,
that
everybody.
I don't know about. I'm not sure if Biggie needed more no men in order to stay alive. I
he
think
didn't
they were out to kill him.
Don't go to the party.
Don't
Don't
go to the party. Yeah,
just
Yeah,
chill
he
at the
should have never
house.
came out to the West Coast.
that's what
Shit,
got him
I
killed.
saw that shit coming. But all
So,
right, you guys.
so I mean, as a youngster, Tupac as a grown man, DMX.
There you go. There you go.
Well, that's both, nigga. You can't do both.
No, you're right.
No, he said X.
DMX,
He said
DMX.
X. He said X. We'll start out with something easy, then we'll switch over. I got which social media app are you mostly on? I'm gonna answer first, and then who wants to take it after me?
Go ahead, T.
All right, let me answer this first. I've noticed, you guys, for myself, when I get on TikTok, I love the fucking app. I can scroll through that motherfucker for hours. But when I got on my Facebook or Instagram, it takes me about less than 2 or 3 of these to be like, this motherfucker. I hate them social media apps, bro. And I tell people, if I wasn't a stand-up comedian who had to put my life on that social media app, I probably wouldn't. Because I just feel like those 2 apps are just full of fake motherfuckers, full of shit that just irritates the fuck out of me. And I don't know about you guys, but I stay off of Facebook and Instagram as much as possible, unless it's me throwing something up there about a show or something. But TikTok, I'll be learning the most with that fucking app, bro. So that's my answer. You can add in Snapchat. I really don't use that shit. You know, any app that you're like, man, this is my app. That's what I'm asking about when it comes to social media. So, Big T, what's your social media app?
Right now, I would say mostly I'm on IG. I do the IG a lot. I'm invested in IG. I have a TikTok page. I mean, TikTok is cool. I like it, but to me, it's just the same. It's the same thing. I mean, I think TikTok has less ads, which is probably what you
I
like.
think it
in
has more ads.
You
But
think TikTok has more ads?
Yeah,
I think
but-
it has less. I thought it was less ads. Well, I don't really be on it that much to be honest.
But then again, maybe the algorithm for me, so it just
But,
feeds me
uh,
into.
I'll
you
tell
you a
you-
consumer.
the app that I'm on right now, though, heavy is YouTube. I've been on YouTube a lot. In fact, I'm trying right now to figure out ways to get my YouTube views and subscribers up.
Okay.
Just because I feel like YouTube has the best platform as far as
Being
paying
monetized.
Money, yeah.
paying for the content, original
yeah.
content. So
Yeah.
yeah. Plus, they got the dope podcasts. Like I like
Like this
I like
one?
I like podcasts. Like when it's like on the Apple Podcast or whatever. But I also like when podcasters have the video and you can watch the video.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like I like. I mean, I ain't gonna put no other podcasts on your platform, but I like podcasts out there that if they don't have the video, it's kind of hard to just. Even if I'm driving, I want the video.
what I'm talking
playing.
about.
That's so funny though, bruh. Even
Yeah.
if you're driving, you need the video.
Yeah,
Word.
me too. Because if they say
Why?
something,
I don't know.
because sometimes for
Just-
me, if they say something, I'm looking at the other person's reaction or what's going on in the video, and sometimes I might even have to stop it, then rewind it, and see what just happened too. So
It also like humanizes like the stars that they have on there. You know what I'm saying? You just get to see them in a different light. I feel like if I was to just hear it, it wouldn't have that same that same authenticity. You know?
I think audio. I think just audio. I mean, maybe because I'm old, but I really enjoy just audio. If it comes with video, I mean, I'll take it. But I don't need to see them talking. I think it's more. I think it's sexier when it's just the audio. Because it kind of leaves you. You're not oversensitized. You're not like getting everything stimulated at once. The visuals, the audio. Then you're also looking at the background setup. You're looking at the lighting. You're looking at all this shit. It's like I just want to hear what the fuck they're actually talking about. A lot of times I listen to a lot of podcasts on YouTube because I'm on YouTube heavy. That's my main one right there. And sometimes I just put my headphones on, listen to a podcast, and just put it face down in the car. I don't need to look at it. That's why I was surprised when you were like, oh, even when I'm driving, I even got to have the video on there. I'm like, I don't even necessarily want it. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's necessary. Where it's like something sports related. Where they're showing replays of a football game or something like that.
Right.
But if there's people just having a conversation, like I'll listen to this in the car, I got no need to look at the video. I just need the audio.
I'm doing all that extra editing. This motherfucker ain't watching no video. Is what he's saying.
saying.
That's what. Because I was just about to say that, man. Maybe I look at it from the standpoint that I edit all this shit myself, so I know purposely, like when I'm editing my videos, and you're the funny one on the podcast. You know what I mean? I give you that, and I focus that in. So if you got a good joke. That's why I pan into your video by yourself and let you hit that punchline, so the viewer can watch it and be like, "Oh shit, that's fucking funny."
That
So,
Shaq and Kobe.
but sometimes it's harder. Yeah, it's hard because like when I had Melvin on, you guys were going back and forth.
Yeah.
And then for the editing person, man, it's hard to clip from here to here to here to here to here, and you're like, "Fuck, bro." And for me, I'm like, I wish one person would talk for 2 minutes and the other, because I have to see that, right? But I have to have the video now because again, I've also like Bert Kreischer has his shit on Pandora, and I'll listen to it, but I'd prefer the video. So if I can, there's been times where I've listened to it on Pandora and then I've watched it on YouTube just to see the little nuances where I'm like, oh, that's what happened there, or that's. So for me, I because I've had many of people that, hey man, can't we just voice record your podcast? And I'm like, yeah, I could.
Right.
Or Frankie's, even, hey man, I'll Zoom, and I'm like, I don't want to Zoom. I don't want to Zoom. I want the interaction. I want the video. I want everybody to see the interaction of what's going on, because sometimes when I watch somebody else's podcast, the way something happens on their podcast might make me feel a certain way. So I tune into the person that's talking and then the person that's listening and be like, oh yeah, it hit them the same fucking way.
Yeah.
Where like Tiger Belly, Bobby Lee says some wildest shit sometimes, and it's seeing the other people's reactions where I'm like, yep, that's just Bobby being fucking Bobby.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, that's why I need the video, because I'm like, okay, I thought maybe I just heard that wrong, or maybe I misunderstood it. I'm like, no, it was
Plus,
the whole
if you're
room.
a fan, it's cool to see everybody in a room. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
this is cool. All of us in a room. Like, this hasn't happened in a long time.
Yeah.
And you see that, you know what I'm saying? That's part of why you like to watch it.
But
know
did you
what I'm saying?
ever listen to Dave Chappelle and Talib Kweli's Midnight Magic Hour? I hope I'm not butchering the name, but they had a series. I don't know if they still got it.
I think they still do.
But
And
it's
I
called the
think
Midnight
video
Magic
too.
Hour. Oh, it's video as well.
Yeah, I think-
Okay, well,
I think the video's on like Patreon, so you got to pay for the shit.
So I only listened to the audio, and I thought that shit was fucking tremendous. And it took me back to the old days. And when I say the old days, I mean like the 90s, back when they used to do like fucking, like when Adam Sandler used to have those old those albums, or those comedy albums where he would have all these different songs and all these different skits, and it was just pure audio. And maybe it's maybe I'm going off of nostalgia a little bit. It's a little nostalgic for me to only listen to audio, but I do think there's something to be said about like just providing audio. That's an art form in and of itself, you know, and I appreciate that, you know. So
I mean, this is the audio.
This is the audio, yeah.
This is the steak.
Yeah.
But this is the gravy, and
right.
that's all I'm saying. This is the sauce.
But if you only have one, though, I'll take the steak over the gravy.
I can do that. I mean, I've done, you know, just the audio. I mean, it's cool because like I feel you, because even when you have if you have the audio playing, if you have the video playing in the house, you may be inclined to sit down, watch it.
Yeah.
It's like 2-3 hours gone by and you ain't done nothing. You feel unproductive, especially if you've been smoking weed. It's
Right,
like, damn,
right.
I've been getting high all day, just waste my whole day. But if the audio is on, maybe you get up, clean, walk around, do something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like, cause I can put a podcast on, maybe go for a walk and just listen.
Yeah.
So I get it.
But it's ironic that you even bring that up though, T, because most people will put on a TV show or a movie or a podcast that has video to it and just have it playing around in the background at home while they wash dishes and handle their business.
I do
So
that.
they're not even watching the video.
Yeah, I do that all
You know what I'm
the
saying?
time.
So it's like
then
we're
sometimes you hit
inclined.
pause and then go, what did they just say? And then you got to go.
Views.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, more power to everybody making videos and making money off it. More power to you. All I'm saying though is that it's just ironic that we go out of our way to do all this video stuff when people are going to immediately put your video on, give you your views, you're going to make your money, all that stuff. But then they're going to walk away from the TV or put their phone in their pocket and handle their business while they're listening to it. Because the one thing you will not accept is a video with no audio. You'll accept audio with no video, but you're not going to accept video with no audio. So that just lets you know which one reigns supreme.
That's fact.
Audio reigns supreme in that regard because you need that.
That's fact.
Video you don't necessarily need.
Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and the show. Make sure you hit a thumbs up and smash that bell button.
And I was going to say, I don't know about you, man, but when I watch porno, I normally don't have the volume on. So,
But isn't it hotter though? Isn't it hotter when you can blast the volume?
no, because I live with my kids, though, bro.
Nah, bro. See, I
I
get
need my
off.
son to
way
be-
better with the audio.
I get off on the audio. I get off on the
He
audio.
said I get off.
I do.
But he
I
live
get
by
off on the
himself,
audio.
though, too.
Because you
So-
get off on phone sex.
I got 2 teenage boys. I don't need them busting in and be like, "Oh, you're watching fucking Mia Khalifa too,
Bro, you know, you got 2 teenage boys. You know, at some point in history, all 3 of y'all were jerking off to a porno at the same time in different rooms.
Shakes and cookies.
All I heard from the room was,
She gets real quiet for about 12 minutes in Rick's house. you know what time it is.
"What's that shit that they be blasting to?" And then,
like, you
are
know-
you jerking off? Like,
You know how women, how their periods sync up? Dudes, our porno jerk off time syncs up.
Have you ever told like your son just go in there, rub it out, and come back in with a clear hand? I'm sick of all this aggravation, man. Go in there and spit it out and come back in and talk to me like a human being.
Here's a sock.
it's a sock.
Here's the Jergens.
right,
and
man.
a goddamn DVD. Get the fuck out of my face.
Thanks, Dad. I was tripping, Dad.
I was tripping, Dad.
Next
bad.
topic,
That'd
you
be a
guys.
dope ass after school special.
My dad, they'll call it Jizdom.
I forgot how I wrote this question, but I was watching again In Your Mom's House today, and they had a comic on from the Pacific Northwest, and they brought up a term where I was like, "Oh yeah," it just clicked for me. Where they were talking about popping in this comedy game and how quick people get amnesia, like amnesia. Like, oh man, I didn't know that. Like what they were talking about was the fact.
Can you define popping?
Right.
Popping, like again, for us comedians, like we haven't popped yet. Nobody fucking knows about us, right?
Okay.
Right, and we're all trying to get there. We've done thousands of fucking stages, millions of goddamn minutes. We've been in the game long enough where
Some
we
of us
know
been to Paris.
yeah, some of us have been to Paris. Some
Norwegian.
of us have
Shout
not.
out Norwegian.
But nobody really knows us, right?
Okay.
So this dude's finally starting to sell some tickets, getting his notoriety, and he goes in. It's amazing how now that he's in that position, he goes, I try to help out people and I remember the crew that have come up with me, this, that, or the other. And he goes, but I remember coming up and I would do something, they get amnesia. They forgot I was there and they went on. And I was like, yeah. And I go, again, we've had this conversation several times on this podcast, but it was the fact that he wasn't doing it out of negativity. So this is not out of negativity. It's just the fact where you're like, man, yeah, this is the reason why I have other comics on the podcast. And people have asked me where I'm like, yeah, I've had a D.L. Hughley and I've had a Gary Owens, but I don't mind bringing on a Big T and a Rudy O and a fucking Rico the Great and whoever else, man. Because again, it's all about, for me, when I pass away, my kids are going to be able to, when they're not jerking off and shit, right? To look back at this and be like, oh shit, my dad was funny as fuck, and he had some fucking friends that was cool as shit.
Yeah.
And they all came in, sat in, and that's how my dad lived his life. You know, we saw him carrying all these fucking bags around, and that's what he was doing.
Right.
So for me, it's like, okay, cool. But what do you guys think about that term, popping and then having amnesia? Like, do you feel like, you know, maybe that's just the way you might be viewing it, whether you're that person or not? Or I just feel like in this realm, in this entertainment realm, it's more so than any other entertainment realm. I feel like if you're a musician and you link up with other musicians and you're like, okay, cool, this motherfucker can sing me a hook, or this motherfucker, I want him to do a verse for me. Or I feel like musicians give each other love way more than comedians do. And I feel like because we're so guarded, we're like, well, we worked so hard to get here. Now it's your time to go work. We're like there's been hella comedians that I know where I'm like, dude, you didn't work that hard. You just got lucky, motherfucker. Like sometimes it's just luck, right?
I mean, I think that the music comparison is a little. I think the music world might be a little bit different. I mean, I'm not a musician, but I think it might be a little bit different because I think in the music world you have to have actual talent. You have to actually be talented. And in the comedy world, you got to be talented, but you can become big by having and not have that much talent, because it's about exposure. It's about who sees you. Now I don't know. Maybe the music world is like that too. But
I was gonna say I could name like 14 rappers that are talented.
that are talented.
Tekashi 6ix9ine has zero talent.
I mean, that's a good point, especially now in 2023. I mean, you could be a trash ass rapper and blow up. So so what would I say? What would I say to the idea of popping and then people having amnesia?
Yeah.
I mean, you were probably never memorable to begin with. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and everybody should really humble themselves, man. Like you're not memorable. Doesn't matter how many good things you do for people. Doesn't matter how kind you are. Doesn't matter how cool you are. It's all in the moment. Everybody's worried about their own shit. They're really not that worried about your shit, no matter what the fuck they say to you, unless they act on it. I would never I would never expect that person to stand on owing me something or remember when I did this for you. I would never put that pressure on myself, because I don't want to be disappointed. I learned that a long time ago. Never expect anything from anybody. Expectation is the fucking killer of happiness. So when I meet someone, if I were to just put together a fucking fire ass special tomorrow and I go viral and I blow up and I start getting fucking booked everywhere and I'm just fucking popping, right? The next time I see somebody, you know, and they don't remember who I am or they don't remember what I did for them or whatever, and they treat me like I ain't nobody, I'm not gonna be surprised. That's probably what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? I think that's what most people actually end up doing. You know, so
okay. Here's a question then. On the reverse hand, we've all met the comics where there's been a comic that blew up, and I'll be the first one. Like if I have your personal number, I'll hit you up and be like, "Hey man, congratulations on the." And I feel like sometimes those comics be like, "Oh, now you want to hit me up?" No, motherfucker. Like great job. Like it's. I'm not doing it to I'm giving you.
But I know comics that have reached back though. Like,
yes,
I mean, like there are comics putting new comics on at the clubs around here. Some of them, like even like with you know what I'm saying. You got put on to go on tour and see places you probably wouldn't have seen
absolutely
as of yet. And you out there now, you're making a name for yourself. Now, who knows? When you come back here, you be like, "Yo, when I was coming up at this club, I was working with Rick, I was working with Big T, I was working with these guys. I'm gonna do a show, I'm gonna headline, I'm gonna sell it out, and then I'm gonna showcase the talent of these comedians." Like I feel like people out here in the Bay Area are doing that. It's just a lot of people in the Bay Area that are big right now. They're not on their own tours where they can take several people from the Bay on tour just yet.
But the bigger you get, though, T, the bigger you get is. I mean, look, we're all gonna say the right thing, even if whether we mean it or not. We're all gonna say the right things, right?
But you've got people on your list, like man.
Yes, I have people.
Up,
no, you're right. But here's the thing, though.
Who are those people?
But that's the point, though. That's the point, though. The bigger you become. No matter how solid your list is, no matter how long you've carried that list in your front pocket, and you always told yourself like, bruh, as soon as I turn that corner and I'm out there and everybody's fucking with me, this is my list. I'm keeping it right here and I'm staying true to this shit.
Right.
It don't matter how noble you think you are. The bigger you become, the longer that list gets in the eyes of other people.
Oh,
your list stays the same.
Nah,
but in the eyes of and here's the thing.
Yeah.
This thing that we decide to do. Art in general, and it's not just because we live in a social media age, art in general has always been at the mercy of public opinion. So it don't matter how noble you are. It don't matter how many receipts you got, how much you've done for people. First of all, the more you go around flaunting all that, the bigger of a dick you look like.
But it's not about flaunting or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, yes, you're not going to be able to please everybody.
Right.
But I think what the question is saying is, are you going to have those people that when they come up to you be like, "Oh, remember when you did that show that I did? Like, can I get on this show?" And you be like, "Oh, this one's full." You know, that's like, "Oh, who are you? I don't even remember you." Like those type of things. Like you're not gonna be able to please everybody. But
absolutely.
You do have every comedian that blew up had a circle of friends that they was coming up with. That if I get a project or something I can work on, that I could find room for you. They always putting those same people on. You can go back every Adam Sandler movie, got the same set of cast in it, which is super dope. They're always playing something different, but something kind of the same. And they're all in there, and they all the homies. Kevin Hart, he got his folks. Kreischer, he got his folks.
Well, I was about to say Bert's the only comic out. Well, I can't say the only, but he's one of the few comics out there that I love. Maybe that's just because that's the type of person I am. I love the fact that he reaches out to. I mean, like I said, he's had Mark Smalls. He's touring with Felipe. He has other comics that he reaches out and just like, "Hey man, I feel like it'll be a fun night. Like, let's go do a fucking night here or there." And I'm like, maybe I so again, it's not about.
So the guy that was on the podcast though, what was his question or what was his statement? Was he saying that when comics blow up, they forget about the people in the past? Or was he saying that when you blow up as a comic, the people from your past forget about what you did for them?
I think he was kind of talking about because again, he's blowing up. he's starting to blow up.
So
where
when
he
he
was
says
having that
amnesia-
conversation with Tom Segura, where Tom Segura's already past that level. You know what I mean? So he's like, hey, man, what about this? How did you deal with it coming up? Because he's like, now I'm finally starting to get real money, sell some real tickets, do this and do that. And he goes, and I'm trying to help as many people as I still can. But I don't want anybody around me or people that to think that I got like I'm popping in now I have amnesia or whatever.
Yeah, and there's no way that he can avoid that. Because
I
that
think he was
list
just
is going to
asking.
Right.
You know.
And I hope. I mean, because I don't even think you need to blow up to understand that. You know, people are all the bigger you get, the more notoriety you get, the more eyes you get on you in any field. It ain't just in comedy. In any field, the ones that are behind you or underneath you or haven't reached that level yet, they have plenty of reason to talk about how shitty you are. Because everybody's gonna have a story or know somebody who knows somebody that can easily be like, oh yeah, Rick James blew up now, man. I used to give this motherfucker a ride home, man. He used to get all fucked up. I used to give him a ride home all the time, man. And now he want to act like he don't see me. That comes with the territory. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like so if I was talking to this dude, I'd be like, yeah, bro, like there's literally no way you're going to avoid that. Literally, that just comes with the territory.
It's not amnesia either.
It's not.
I'm on this other level. I have to deal with all these other different people, and your circle has expanded. So some people, even if I only knew you for like 5 minutes, people still you feel like you was close to you or whatever. Like I can't please everybody. You have your certain circle, people that I came up with. You know what I'm saying? Like you going back to who was there from that first open mic that supported you all the way through to this point. Now that we selling tickets, and this was the dream that we had always talked about when we was getting fucked up in the parking lot after the shows, after them little shows, smoking and shit. Like, you was hella good and your set was tight. Like, these are the cats that I'm rolling with. Okay, if you just I follow you on social media and I've seen all your shit. Like, that's not going to get it. Like, you had to have been there. So those guys from day one, they are reaping the benefits of the friend that blew up. Everybody else,
and those guys, the ones that you can't put that aren't on that list, you have to accept the fact that no matter what industry you're in, those people who don't make that list, they're going to turn on you. That's their role. They have to talk shit about you because that makes them feel like they're one step closer. That's human nature. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can't be next to the person that I want to be next to, then I want to appear to be somewhat in their world by talking shit to them, because now it appears that I have a personal relationship with them. Now it appears that I have some sort of angle, and since I can't be in the circle, then I think I just want to appear dope enough so that I even have a complaint about them. You know, I want people to think that I'm even close enough to them where I can complain about them. That's how people start thinking, man.
Yeah,
it just
drama
come with the territory.
The drama sells.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like Tom's wife was talking about. She goes, just make sure it was the whole Drake thing, like just don't get no new friends type shit. And I'm like, where I felt like on the wall with that, where I'm like, I have people that if I were to pop, I know there's people in the comedy realm that I would look at, but most of my people are not even in the comedy realm.
Right.
You know what I mean? Most of my people know the struggles, the shit that I've gone through, and I think they respect my dream a little bit more, and for them it's like better you than me. You know what I mean? I had that conversation on the way here where my boy Lee's like, man, I respect that's noble, but I need to have a regular 9 to 5. I need to get my shit done. I need to pay these bills. I need, we're great but he also knows I'm not a public speaker. Meaning him, I don't do that. I couldn't, if I could make money doing that, I would, but this is how I make my money.
Yeah.
But I think it's those friends that I have on my back where if I were to pop, would be like, man, I'm glad you did it. Like we saw it in you. We saw the struggle. We saw this. And those are the people
when you pop, can I open for you?
Let me pop off too.
I'm just saying, I just want to get that shit on
I mean,
tape.
again, for me, I mean, I look at it like I said,
254.
Hey, Jose, you said I could
this
pop with you.
nigga said Big T could. Oh, I still ain't got the answer.
Which
though.
leads me into the same shit, right? Because I saw a comedian talk
Amnesia's
about
setting in already.
Talk about,
I don't remember what you said, T.
What was the question?
No, I saw a comedian post up a couple weeks ago how he goes, man, if we ever stopped talking, I wouldn't put up any text messages. I don't hold receipts, this, that, or the other. Like, we just go the other way. And I go, you know what? Most of the time I see that, but on my side, I posted something different where I was like, sometimes I feel like I'm glad I have those text messages because I don't feel like I've done anybody dirty or wrong in this comedy game. And if I have, I've at least attempted to come talk to you like a man. Now, if you didn't want to come meet with me and talk to me, then that's on you. Because I'll tell you, I'm wrong. I did this. I shouldn't have done that. Man, this whole process, I tell people, just season 1 to season 5 now, I'm like, there's been so much growth and I see shit in me. Just even recently, with my own family shit going on right now where I'm like, man, my whole world's just changing. Like, I know I walk around with being an angry fucking person. And I'm trying to lean back into how do I get out of not being angry? And, so I'm leaning towards that. Where there's other shit, man. I almost had to beat up my neighbor today. So, like, it just happens. But
He's one of your subscribers too, man. He probably subscribes to the podcast and shit, bro.
But there's other things where I'm like, man, I get it. So, I don't hold on to shit like that. I'm just like, I hold on to it for a different reason. And I guess the other comedian didn't really see it where, again, like I said, right now, like I'm waiting to send out a cease and desist letter because I got a comedian that stole my shit. And that's right. Where I'm just
horrible.
like,
That's horrible.
That's crazy, bro.
I'm like, dude, why, when did I deserve this shit? Or why did I, and it's like, so it's not that I hold on to shit because I want to be that dickhead. It's because sometimes I'm like, man, I got to watch out around the fucking people around me and shit, man. So I look at it like that. But, for me, fellas, I say it to the day I die. Maybe it's because I don't have a family. You know what I mean? My friends are my family. I have my sister, and then that's it. So for people around me, yes, it probably means more to me than it means to most people. And maybe that's why it eats up inside of me sometimes. Because, again, you're going to leave here. You're going to call your family. You be cool. You're going to go home and see family and shit. And I'm going to go back, and it's just the only family of my fucking kids and my sister. And that's it.
And your girl?
And your girl.
Well,
but you got kids though, man. I mean, that's also
she can leave me at any point.
But it's all
and
about
I'm not saying that
though.
like to make it seem a certain way. I'm just saying I know for me, I feel like I'm in that limited situation. So sometimes I said even my friends, I got to give them the space because I'm like, hey, you guys want to come over? Oh man, I got something going on with my sister. I'm going over to my brother's house, and I'm like, oh, that's right. You guys have family,
right?
Like,
but check this out,
okay,
though, bro. Like you, it's about perspective though. When you want to talk about like if you have somebody or not, because I don't have. I mean, I got my parents, I got my sister, I got my brother-in-law. But all those people are not obligated to me whatsoever. I could turn that same argument over back on you and be like, you have 2 sons. Those are your boys. You know what I'm saying? Like you've multiplied, you've passed on your bloodline. You have 2 people that are always going to be connected to you eternally. You have an eternal bond with somebody.
And soon they're going to have kids and
and then your shit continues. So it's just a matter of which way you choose to look at it. And you're choosing to look at it like because you don't have your parents or because you don't have any siblings, you're alone. But yet you've created life. You have 2 boys that, as far as I know, they're still with you. They're still like near you. They want to be like in your world somewhat. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have that. I probably won't even have kids.
You can have one of them.
Your biological.
I'll give you the youngest.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
You just want the
I'll give you the youngest one. That motherfucker give me a headache sometimes.
So
bro.
it's like
so use all the lotion.
like my parents are gonna get older. They're gonna transition. My sister has her family who must be her priority even above her brother, as it should be. My friends are gonna have their kids and they're gonna have their own fucking lives. So my future, my present is cool, right? But my future is for sure gonna be one of like solitude. I'm gonna be Uncle Rudy trying to fucking get a plate at
Yeah,
everybody's
who's
house.
gonna take care of you when you get old?
I'm gonna just probably die on the sidewalk somewhere. But
Had that nurse stealing his money and changing his diaper and shit.
I mean, but what I'm saying though, bro, is like it's a matter of perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's gonna have it hard sooner or later. That's just the fucking deal. Maybe your upbringing was hard, but you made it to a point where you actually created life. Now you have two boys to look forward to see them reproduce and see them have their lives for the rest of your life. I had a dope ass front half, but the way it's looking now, my second half about to be fucking different. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of perspective.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of perspective. You know.
True that.
Still got that Paris flex though.
Still got all them T.R.A.G.I.C nightmares.
We got one more, right? Let me see what I got for you guys.
You always got that though.
I'll always have that.
All right. I wish I could show you guys the clip. There's a clip floating around, and I guess my mom was single until she met my stepdad. Were you raised by both your parents?
I was.
You were, and you were raised by both your parents. I only asked that, fellas, because there's a thing going around where it shows their statistics. I don't know where the fuck they're getting statistics, but they're a single mother versus a single father. And 98% of the people that are incarcerated come from a single mother home.
Right.
That's a high fucking percentage. Right. So in these numbers, they talk about that being raised by a single father is way more beneficial for the child than a single mother.
Yeah.
Right. So, and we'll add those statistics in there only because I find value in this shit. Right. So,
yeah. Sure.
So,
you got a lot of red pill videos on your algorithm. I could tell. That's been a very common thing amongst men my age. It's a lot of red. We got YouTube telling us, what we should be like.
So I say that because again, I'm sitting amongst two men, and a mother's love is given to us. And maybe, again, that's why I walk around. I had this conversation with my boy Lee the other day where I was all, nobody understands who I am because I walk around in a state of anxiousness, no matter where the fuck I'm going. Because I had a mother that didn't instill that love and didn't tell me shit. So I walk around, am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? I'm fucking anxious all the time, right? And I go, but I think a father's love comes to you as a male, especially because it teaches you something. And that's where, again, where I benefit from having two sons. Is because as much as their mother wanted to make me look bad, they still live with me now. They're both over the age of 18. They've moved in with me. And I think that father's love for a boy turning into a man or a man, I think is way more needed than your mother's love. I think your mother makes you feel welcome into the world, and I think your father shows you the place in this world. Yeah. So I asked that because that's my feeling. Do you guys feel the same way? And maybe it'll be totally different because, again, you guys got raised by both your parents. Yeah. So, Rudy, let's pass it to you first.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. I've seen that statistic in different forms, like tossed around online, and like my algorithm is picking up all the red pill talk too, which I agree with a lot of it. Some of it is a little over the top, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not that much of a man, you know what I'm saying? Like, some of the shit is a little over the top for me, but yes, but to your point though, I do agree that the reason why you have an overwhelming amount of people that end up in jail that come from a single mother household is because you don't have the disciplinarian in the house. And you need the disciplinarian in the house because your mom is gonna welcome you into the world. But your dad is the one that's going to show you how to fucking act amongst everybody else that you got to share this planet with. For reals, bro. Like, I mean, I think it's dope as fuck when I see my friends raising their kids. I think that's dope as fuck. But in my mind and in my objective mind, I can't help but think to myself, like, please raise that kid right, because that little motherfucker has to deal. You're going to die and you're going to leave whatever the fuck you raised behind. And then the rest of the world who never fucking wanted to deal with him or her to begin with, you decided to bring this motherfucker into the world. Now the rest of the world got to deal with them. So please do a good job of raising them, because you're leaving your shit behind. You're going to die and they get to stay behind, and the rest of the planet got to deal with them. So if you got a father in the household who's a disciplinarian, at the very minimum, the boy or the child is gonna feel the energy of discipline. And that's how you teach respect, so motherfuckers don't go out into the real world where they're gonna spend the majority of their time and start fucking with people and probably get caught up fucking with people and either get killed or put behind bars.
At what age were you? I want to say teenage years, because after you turn 18, it would have been different. At what age do you think you had to be taught something by your dad, where he was like, what was the last age he had to come in and fucking, not saying that he put hands on you, but maybe was like, hey, and had to snap you back into reality and let you know, like, hey, I'm still your dad.
I mean, probably like around 19, even 19, 20, bro. Like I would come home fucked up. I'd come home drunk, and like just be hella disrespectful around the house. And then my pops would just look at me straight up. There was a couple of times where he just looked at me straight up. He's like, you a real fucking disappointment right now.
Oh,
You fucking disappoint the fuck out of everybody in this house.
damn.
And bro, and it's like when your dad tells you that and you're a grown up, you don't need to get hit. Especially because he actually did a good job. I was just fucking up because I was young and stupid, and so when your dad says some shit like that to you and he knows that he actually raised a good kid, he understands that when he says that shit is going to resonate. And it did, you know what I'm saying? And now the one thing that we're missing so much in this world is activated in that moment. And that one thing is shame. I was ashamed of myself. And men really only change or make a turn for the better when they become humiliated. That is the only way that a man really ever changes. They got to be a little embarrassed. They got to get humiliated. They got to be shamed.
Humbled.
You got to be humbled. It's about getting exposed. That's how a young man learns. That's how a young man changes. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got a plan till they get hit in the fucking mouth. And then when you sitting there bleeding like a bitch, now all of a sudden you be like, oh yeah, I probably should have listened to what they said. I'm not gonna make that mistake anymore. But before you got hit in the mouth, you thought you was the shit.
All right, Big T. You didn't think we were going to be a Reader's Digest episode over here, or whatever the fuck you want to call this, lifetime episode.
Nah, I know Rudy.
But,
Rudy be spitting facts out there, man. He,
so for you
be thinking he about to be all goofy and shit. Like, Rudy will hit you with some of that real deep, like.
Yep.
Okay.
That's that weed mentality.
Yeah.
So for you, whose love did you need? When did you need it? And then, like I asked I think I'm gonna start asking men that. When was the last time your dad had to tell you some real shit?
Man, first of all, I'm gonna just say this: like, I was raised predominantly by my mother. My parents, they got divorced, I think, when I was like 11.
Okay.
And my father, he still came around, and I spent some time at his house for a little while, but we were at odds for a long time. We just started to try to get back even cool with each other.
Okay.
So my mom, she did a lot of raising. She was mom and dad. She would whoop that ass if needed. The bigger I got, the bigger the items got. You know what I'm saying?
I hit with an ironing board.
You think I'm playing though? And then I think at one point I got too big for the physical, and my mom switched tactics, and she became a crier, and so she was hitting me with the emotional belt. So I would do something, or I would fuck up, I would not reach my potential. She get to crying about how much she need me to straighten up and fly right. I get to crying. We just in there crying like two little girls. And then I would go in and I would act right. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this then, because these are the years that you were forming who you were going to be as a man.
Word.
And your pops sounded like he
But I had
wasn't
a lot-
around
I'm gonna say
as
I
a
had
teenager.
lot of,
Do you
father
wish he was around
figures.
a little bit more?
Of course. Boys look up to you. Your dad is your hero, no matter what. I don't give a fuck. That nigga's a piece of shit or not. If he was around at any point from birth to 7 years old, that's your hero. That's the nigga you see 24/7. That's your guy. So I get that, but my father, he was real. He was real distant. He was real into his own shit. Even when I was a kid, like we didn't spend a lot of time together. He worked real hard. He would come home. He'd be tired. He want to lay up. We didn't go out. We didn't play football. We didn't throw the ball. None of that type of shit. So I don't really know. Like I said, my mom, she took me to football practice. She sat in the car. She did, she did all of those things. So, it's tough. My father.
What do you think
real
it would have
laid
changed
back.
if he was around during like your high school years?
I probably would have. I probably would have worked harder. Like if he was more like once I became like real deep into the high school football scene. Like if he was real like encouraging, like come on son, I got you this gym membership, let's go. Because I'm getting letters from colleges and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? It could have. I could have been his number one draft pick. You know what I'm saying? But those type of encouragements, I just totally missed out on. So I had coaches. I had circle. I had to when your single mother, she get in that parents group with all the other parents. So all of my friends, like I go to your house, I call your mom, I call your dad, I call your mom, I call your dad. Like we all are just in that village. Yeah. So all of my friends coming up from middle school to even 1920. We was all in the village. I go to your house. What's up, mom? What you got to eat? I can go, what's up, pops? And like my best friend who I grew up with since I was 11, I even lived at his house for a little while. So his pops really gave a lot of discipline. Like we be fucking up and we would fight like brothers, take it too far. Like his pops come in there and grab us up. Like you niggas know better than that. Yeah. We doing some music and playing music too loud in the homie's room, and his pops come in like, turn that fucking shit down. Yeah. You be like, oh, like, all right, dad, we got you. And we just like, all right, let's go outside. Yeah. You know
because I think as a male teenager, you need that enforcer, bro. Yeah, bro. Especially because that's when
it's not even an enforcer though. You need to see a male role model that goes to work, handles his business, and is strong and takes care of his woman. Right. Now you need to see that shit every day. It just sets the foundation. A male, just male bonding. Like your father, the way your father sits down and says, yo, son, how was school? Yeah. How was practice? It's different than how your mom says it. You know what I'm saying? Your mom is just that overseer, that over nurturer, and you're like, oh, come on, mom. Yeah. But your dad is like, what's up, boy? Punch you in the chest. Like he do all those little things to make you tough. Yeah. Because all us men, we have that testosterone and we have to roughhouse. We have to get it out. And your anger from not having that role model is what turns on people's mothers, especially people that are in. It's not even just coming from a single parent home. It's single parent home. It's poverty. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Sometimes kids just act out. Like I got a homie, his mother, you know what I'm saying? She was like super smart. I don't know what she did, but she was super smart. But she had been in an accident, so she didn't work much. She stayed at home. His father was a lawyer, but he just acted out. I mean, he just did all kind of street shit that he did not have to do. But and in the end, it ended up killing him. Mm. And you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, like I said, what I'm saying, sometimes kids, they just bad. They just grow up bad and they do bad shit and it catches up to them. So you have a role model that is in there that's constant, that's teaching you things. I was lucky because I had several different role models that were men. They was all different. They all did different things. I had coaches, other fathers, figures. Like my mom, she didn't marry nobody else, but I had other father figures. I mean, my father, he still came around. He was present. And mentors.
That's a really good point, T, about just having a role model in the house, because this whole conversation started off with talking about how so many of the people that are men that are incarcerated came from a single mother household. I'm a big believer in the notion of a father telling his son, don't fucking cry. But let me tell you why, though. Not because I'm advocating for the suppression of emotion. I'm not one of these dudes that believes that if you cry, that means you a bitch. In your heart, you a real bitch. No, it's not that. It's that a man has to understand that there's a time and a place to cry. You can't fucking go through your whole life being emotional. And I really believe that when you're around women or a woman is your main influence, it's very, very easy to start believing that being emotional is your go-to mode. Now, let me explain something to you. The jails, the prisons are full of emotional men. Extremely emotional men that didn't know what the fuck to do when shit got tough other than go kill somebody, go beat somebody's ass, go do something irrational because they were emotional about it. All these motherfuckers that are in that got them yellow, the orange jumpsuits, they let their emotions lead the way. If they had somebody that would show them the value of don't fucking cry.
Well, it's blue color.
And do right. Don't fucking cry.
Man, come on, man. You see, you old. You guys see. That's why you can't even have kids. Now,
are we still? We still good to keep going?
Yeah, we got a few minutes.
Yeah,
you
but
even be at no elementary school.
Well, I mean, but that's what I'm saying.
Cut all that crying out loud.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
5 years old, man.
But there's a time and a place to cry, though. I'm not saying that, especially for a little boy who's gonna be a man one day.
Quit all that crying, boy.
Hey, I believe in that shit. A girl could cry all she wants. I mean, I don't want my girl to think that she can get through her whole life crying. I wouldn't teach her that way. But I'm for sure gonna give her a lot more leeway, especially as they get older, than my son. My son can't be crying all the fucking time, man.
Would you cry in front of your son?
Yeah, I would cry in front of my son because there's a time and a place to cry.
I'm just saying because you have to show him
absolutely.
You have to show the whole spectrum.
I don't want my kid to think that it's okay to go crazy and fucking snap. You know, that's what I'm saying.
That's how you end up with them Jeffrey Dahmers niggas.
But it's
we already crying. Nigga. I'm gonna just eat these motherfuckers.
I'm gonna eat my emotions and my neighbors. but I really do. I believe that the prison system is full of a lot of emotional men, bro, and they could have benefited. And that's why I think that stat coincides with my theory. You know, because if they had more male role models in the house, they would be taught there's honor, it's respectable to choose to not cry until you do something about it first. If you're gonna cry, you better do something about it.
I mean, but yeah, my mom, she taught me a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like she gave me the game. You know what I'm saying? She let me kind of be my own man for a little while. She let me. I was the first kid to see the Mac. Cleopatra Jones. She let me listen to Too Short when I was in like sixth grade elementary school. Like little niggas wasn't doing shit like that. Yeah. So I mean, my mom, she was cool. Like she helped me. Like she would tell me like, oh, you like this girl? Go over there and tell her, your eyes and sparkle and shit like that. So I'm just saying, like my mom, she had a lot of game. The only advice my father ever gave me was don't get married. That was it. Okay,
that's good ass advice.
My mom taught me how to shave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just don't get married.
That's some fire ass advice.
That's all he ever said, man.
Ask Rick.
Now
some fire ass advice.
Yeah, shave. Real quick, only because this came to mind, what you talking about the being incarcerated stuff too, is I thought about the fact that I don't know about you guys, man, but I grew up around gangs and all that type of shit, especially my teenage years. And I was just thinking about it. Well, my best friend did 10, 11 years. Like, people around me. But how many of those people did you know? I didn't know very many. I'm trying to still think of one. Where how many of those gang members that you may have grown up around, maybe they were cousins, maybe they were friends, maybe they were neighbors, maybe somebody in your neighborhood. How many of those motherfuckers that were super gangster or just even a little bit had fathers around? I can't think of fucking one.
Yeah, bro. I mean, yeah.
I can't think of every person that I knew that was a leader of this gang or a leader of that gang. I can't remember anybody's father being around. And that's because, again, when I would kick it with friends, it'd be like the mom wouldn't even know that the motherfucker was a gang member.
Right.
And you're like, you don't see the bandana, you don't see this, you don't see that.
See a t-shirt that says, I'm in a gang?
Yeah. And the mom would be like, my son's in a gang. And I'll be like, yeah,
I'm in a gang.
Yeah, your fucking son's in a gang.
I mean, it's easy. When you're a kid, it's easy to live in two worlds.
Right.
I mean, your parents, they see what they want to see. You know what I'm saying? You can get away with a whole lot of shit. I mean, you got away with a lot of shit. Your sons, they got away. They're getting away.
Oh, they're getting away with
a whole
now.
lot of shit. Rudy, you got away with stuff. So I mean,
many things.
Kids. I mean, as long as if you can do what you're supposed to do, you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. just have a standard of innocence, appear to be innocent to a
I
certain
mean,
level.
I listen. I was far from gang members. Okay, I knew little kids that was in the hood, grew up in like North Oakland, East Oakland. Like I knew them, but I wouldn't. We wouldn't like run around with guns or wearing the same color, no shit like that. But I mean, I don't know. Like the little kids that were in my school that like rep that gang life. I don't know nothing about them.
I will tell you, and maybe I think of this because, like I said, my best friend, the first time he went to jail for something that was something to go to jail for, he went drinking with his aunt. I think he was 17, 18 at the time. And her boyfriend at the time, they had words. And he goes, man, you know, I ain't afraid of you. I don't give a fuck what color you claiming, blah, blah, blah. Said the wrong color or whatever. My boy was like, what? And then dude was like, man, don't make me pop the trunk on you. He walks out to my friend E, picks up a knife, you know, and I called the next day and was like, hey, Cindy, where's E at? Oh, why you joking? And I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, you know he went to jail. And I was like, what do you mean? Where's E at? And I had to get a call from, you got to collect call from county, blah, 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 right? And I was like, hey, what the fuck are you doing in there? He was like, nah, bro, this motherfucker, he acting a fool. And I was just like, damn, bro. And it wasn't, I think the conversation started with them too, because his aunt never knew anything about a gang or whatever. Right. But her boyfriend said something, and then that's what started the whole thing. And of course, there was alcohol involved or whatever. Right. And luckily for him, I think that bid only was maybe less than a year or whatever. He got out, but that was the beginning.
Did he kill him?
No, he didn't kill him, but fucked up his hand, and dude was grabbing the knife and fucked up his tendons and shit. And you know, and that's where I was just like, damn, man, like, you know, and so I've always been around some shit like that where I was just like, man.
See, my friends, they weren't gang members, but like I did have some like they was like stupid motherfuckers. Yeah. Okay, because the King Richard movie, okay, the little scene at the end that was in Oakland where there's Serena and them did the tennis match. Yeah. Okay, my homeboy was at those matches as a kid. Okay, he was at those matches. When we got older, okay, we sold candy.
Candy scam.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This dude, both mother and father, okay, Oakland Hills living, okay, steals from the candy plug, and they killed his ass.
God damn.
On some
where's my Reese's peanut butter cup?
On some where's my peanut butter cup, bro? Like, damn. I mean, it was on the news and like I'm watching the news and they're like body found in the trunk burning. Like they shot this nigga. Put him in the car in the hills, set the car on fire. Okay, and then they flash this nigga's I think it was his 9th grade portrait. Bruh. Okay, maybe the high school one. Yeah, I mean we might have been out of high school then. The portrait. Come on, man,
bro.
Like, I mean, so you never know. Like I say, you never know. Like who's like people that grow up, they just do dumb things. Like when you a kid, that's why you know when you a kid. You just think you're invincible, and you think you could do stuff. And
now that kid stole candy. He got both parents stole candy. It resulted in his death. But I'm fucking
because he didn't get a chance to even go to them because they could have had the money. He could have been like, "Yo, I stole from this person."
Right
again,
I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet that the motherfuckers who did that to him, no dead.
But
no dead.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
But
because that those are the real perpetrators. I mean, yeah, that was a dumbass move by your homie. But that's a.
Nah, they didn't know that.
They didn't know what
they don't. I mean, they don't know much about him. I mean,
yeah, but the fact that they opted to murder and burn a child because he stole.
I mean, he wasn't like. I mean, he was just like 18, 19.
Oh, okay,
I mean,
okay. So I thought he was in 9th grade.
No, I'm saying they put that
picture
9th grade
okay,
picture of him.
Yeah,
because that was like in you wear your little shirt and tie,
right,
with the jacket. It might have been high school.
Right. Well, I will say this is where I differ, though, is I do have 2 sons, and we'll end on this because I know you got to bounce out. But I hear like my youngest. He called me about a month ago, and he was talking to this girl, and and her ex boyfriend won't give her the car, and it's got her name on it, and that's where I had to take the father seat and be like, hey, whatever her issue is her fucking issue.
Right.
Don't go and I don't give a fuck if her name is on the car, whatever. That seems like her issue. I better not see you in this girl's car. I better not see you wanting to drive over there. Because again, a little 19-year-old, I would have been the same way.
Right.
Been like, fuck that. We're going to ride out. We're going to get this car. We're going to do some shit.
Emotional.
But that's none of your goddamn problem. And that's where I say for anybody listening to this shit, sometimes if you're not the father, at least having a father figure.
Right.
And a man or a boy needs that in his fucking life, bro.
That's facts.
Because sometimes, again, it's one of those things I tell my kids, if you're that mad, come talk to me tomorrow. And if you're still that mad, let's see what we can do about it then.
Right.
Because sometimes you just need to take a fucking break, bro.
Yeah, bro.
And I've done that myself, where I'm glad I've had bigger homies like, hey man, let me get that heater. Let me go get this burner. Hey bro, I'll give it to you tomorrow if you still feel like that.
Yep.
And you know what? I've woken up the next day and been like, thank God you didn't give me one yesterday.
Bro. And watching your dad have to put up with his woman, because I don't give a fuck if it is your mom, that's still a woman. And she's going to get it on his fucking nerves. Watching your dad have to put up with his woman getting on his fucking nerves, and then him just fucking having that anger in his face, but understanding that, you know what? Let me go sit in the garage. Let me go take a ride. Let me go smoke a cigarette on the porch. Watching that is the greatest lesson to you and the greatest message to you as a young boy. Like, I don't have to make emotional decisions. I could walk away, because bitches are going to make me mad. Everybody's going to make me mad. But I see my pops, the way he gets mad at my mom, and he chooses to walk away. So I'm going to do the same thing. And that's what I mean, bro, by like having that role model of like, all right, I don't have to just give in to my feelings and just be all emotional. I could fucking use logic and be like, bitch, this shit ain't worth it. I'll be in the backyard. That's a powerful message, man. Yeah. And then you start thinking like that as a grown up, hopefully.
My main man, Rick James, the comedian Rick James. Get up on.
In my opinion, podcast. My opinion, podcast.